Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
We're going to be adventurous today. We're going to do a no-chill Brett Golden Ale.
Golden Ale.
So, two moderate to advanced techniques there.
No
chill.
No chill. Not no boil.
No, we boiled. But we with no chill, and then using Brettanomyces, which I don't know if we've ever done either one of those things on this show.
I don't think so. Certainly not the Brett.
So let's get to it, shall we?
Yeah.
We did. This is a 5-gallon batch. I started with 6 pounds or 3.2 kilograms of. Oh, before I get started, this was a recipe from the American Homebrewers Association website.
Nice.
Homebrewersassociation.org, and it is a clone recipe of a Northwest Arkansas beer, the Ozark Ozark Beer Company Belgian Golden Ale.
Yeah.
I tweaked it a little bit, as I always do. I can't leave well enough alone.
Well, no.
But if you go to the Homebrewers Association website and search for that, you can find the original recipe that I based this one on. And and their beer is not a Brett beer.
Right.
They don't have funky stuff in it.
I bet they chill it too.
Oh yeah, they run it through a heat exchanger.
Yeah. Okay. We digress.
Sometimes it takes me a little while. Okay, Here we go. 6 pounds or 3.2 kilograms of Pilsner malt, 2.5 pounds or 1.1 kilogram of pale ale malt, 5 ounces or 142 grams of white wheat malt, 5 ounces or 142 grams of torrefied wheat, and 2 ounces or 56 grams of acidulated malt. I put that into the kettle and I mashed at 148 degrees Fahrenheit or 64 C for 90 minutes. And I was trying to make a fermentable wort, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So I boiled for 60 minutes. At the beginning of that boil, I used half an ounce or 14 grams of perlay at 8.7% alpha acid. 45 minutes, another half an ounce, and at 5 minutes before the end of the boil, 1 ounce or 28 grams. So at the end of the boil, I collected the wort into a no-chill container, a 6-gallon no-chill container that I sanitized. Because my hose was froze. It was cold outside. So I just put it in the no-chill container. The next morning, it had chilled down to pitching temperature. So I poured it into a carboy, and then I pitched Imperial Organic Yeast Precious, which is a seasonal yeast strain. And then I let it ferment. About a couple weeks later, I came back and I added into the bottling bucket their Imperial Organic Yeast's Suburban Brettanomyces. And then I primed with half a cup of corn sugar, and then I bottled. And okay, let's talk about this. This is a little different here.
Yeah, it is.
So no chill. It started down in Australia, as did Brew in a Bag. They decided water is precious down there in many of the regions down there in Australia. So instead of running a wort chiller and wasting a lot of water, what they do is they get these plastic, they call them jerry cans, and they sanitize them, and they just put the hot wort right in there. They put the lid on it, and they wait until the wort is cool. Some of them wait a long time to save the wort, but I just do it the next day. And you just pitch it into a fermenter after that, and just pitch the yeast, and off you go. So,
wow.
And with Brett, I usually prime with 3/4 of a cup of corn sugar. I cut it down to half a cup because I was afraid that the Brettanomyces would eat more of the residual sugars than the Saccharomyces over time, and it would over-carbonate the bottles and maybe have bottle bombs. So, I'm going to check this over time just to make sure it's not over-carbonating. That's one thing you got to check on if you're pitching Brett at bottling time. The original gravity on this was 1047, final gravity 1008. Okay. So we're at 5.2%. And so I'm hoping that it's finished, kind of low enough, and maybe I didn't, we'll just see. I did all kinds of research, and depending on, everybody had something different to say.
Yeah. Hey, you asked me about it, and I said, I don't know.
Well, that's what I said, which is why I was doing the research. Yeah. So let's open it up, and there is some carbonation. You might want to pour with gusto so that.
Gusto couldn't be here tonight. He's bussing down at Woodruff Pizza.
It's a pretty beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now, we are getting some funk on the nose.
It's funky, it's fruity. Let me say that in Morse code.
It doesn't taste as funky as it smells.
No.
But this was, I think it will evolve over time. Think of Orval.
Yeah.
If you like Orval, when you get a fresh Orval, it tastes more like a pale ale.
Right.
But then if you let it sit in the bottle over time, it gets more and more funky over time. And I'm hoping that's what will happen with this one.
It's still pretty fun. It's funky on the front end. The first flavors that I taste are kind of that barnyardy, funky pepper thing, but then it finishes quite dry and not funky.
Yeah.
The finish is very clean. That's interesting.
Yeah. I think it tastes good.
It's very refreshing.
And I'm hoping the carbonation will come up a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
It's a little undercarbonated at this point.
I think it's and that could also have a little bit. There's a little bit of sweetness in there. I think it's going to go away. I think this beer is a good beer. I would drink more than this much of it, but this wouldn't be something I would drink pints of right now.
Right.
But I think when we come back to this beer in say 2 months, 3 months,
Maybe 6 months
maybe
or a
6
year.
months, yeah, I think it's going to be a way different beer, and I think it'll be drier and crisper.
Yeah.
But it's very tasty, actually. I mean, I really wasn't putting it down like I didn't like it, but I want this beer to be older.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is my intention. I intend to come back to benchmark this in 6 months from now. Come back and taste this beer again, and just see how that Brettanomyces is aging out.
It's going to dry that sucker out.
So there you go. I like no chill brewing. It's easy
clean
to
as a
do.
whistle.
The only thing is that the plastic container that I got, it's hard to get all the liquid out of it. How hard to get all the water out of it.
Yeah.
So when I had used it before, and I came back to it, and there was mold in the bottom of the thing, so I had to scrub it out.
That's what I'm getting.
And it was clean. I scrubbed it out. I put bleach in there. I sanitized it. It's all clean. But what I did after I cleaned it this time, and I'm storing it in the basement, I put some Star San in there, about 2.5 gallons of Star San, so that it's not gonna happen again. So anyway, there you go. A tasty beer.
Actually, quite.
But I think it's going to get tastier over time.
I think it will too.
So stay tuned.
Come on back, y'all.
In the meantime, happy brewing.
Right if you get work.
Hang by your thumbs. Come and visit us online. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs and our Brewer's Logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. If you're in Fayetteville, Arkansas, stop by Steve's Brew Shop or find him online at stevesbrewshop.com.
It's like that custom agent that was inspecting that guy from Czechoslovakia. There were several of them. Check 1, check 2.